Yeah. Head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test, now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, don't know what is in me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up from my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah. Phone started jumping, what a day. Swear to God I need it, now I can't afford to wait. I just had a fan hit me up from Kuwait. Told him this would happen and we not a minute late. Seen him down bad, now they tryna hate. Same one try to hit me for the raise. Got a meal, now they coming with a blaze. Check the numbers fam, I swear I'm getting paid. I'm a don just like the Perrier. It's one time when I'm looking at a face. On the low like I'm pushing up the bass. Come down and I'll meet him at a gate. Got a check and I bought myself a place. They get some money and they blow it on bait. I don't flex but I'm pushing all the weight. Told them all I swear I got it's what it takes. Phone started jumping, what a day. Swear to God I need it, now I can't afford to wait. I just had a fan hit me up from Kuwait. Told him this would happen and we not a minute late.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming on my landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, at the top of the class on a roll. Ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, at the top of the class on a roll. Ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And at Crypto Billy dropping $100 super chat just to say, let's start off this show with a bang. Hashtag FYP, hashtag FCU, hashtag Givers Gain. And by the looks of that super chat, Billy, hashtag Givers Gain. Let's go. Shout out to you, bro. You did not have to do that. But what is going on, Mafia? We got another amazing show for you tonight. We're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin as we have gotten another little pop to the upside, almost breaking the highs that we made on May 20th. Can we continue this move to the upside? If you guys watched last night, we actually looked at some signals on the higher time frames that may have been pointing towards this little push to the upside and potentially another push even higher. I want to break down those key levels with you guys, take a look at the indicators, and try to figure out if we could predict where this thing is going to go next. Got that waiting room up there like just in the nick of time. I was on a phone call, almost late to the stream here. I am feeling better, guys. I'm not sick anymore, I don't think. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But we're back to the normal live stream schedule. But shout out to you guys. Don't forget to smash out that like button. Smash that like button. Every 100 likes we get gives you guys some extra chances to win some free crypto or maybe even some free Frankie Candles hats. We're going to be doing a big giveaway on Friday as we missed a couple of streams. I'm going to, bulk up that giveaway just a little bit because we skipped a couple of Friday streams. This is where we typically do the giveaway. So we got a lot of stuff to give away on Friday, but smash that like button. If we get 550 likes on tonight's stream, I will add something. I don't know. I'll let you guys pick. We'll add something to the giveaway if we hit that 550 like goal. But before we jump into it, guys, let's jump into chat and say what's up to the Candle Mafia here. We got K Diggity in the chat. You know K Diggity loves those goats. Let's go. Shout out to Melissa. What is going on? Representing that female Candle Mafia. Shout out to Melissa. Said Candle Mafia. Candle emoji. Fire. Heart. Shout out to you, Melissa. We got Funk for Pete. Shout out to you. What is going on, bro? Can't read that out loud. But shout out to you. Multi-sig dummy in the chat. What is going on, bro? Good to see you in here. We got Inspector Chris. We got Ill Hero, Hodl Crypto. We got the OGs in the house. We got Donato Cabrera. Shout out to you, brother. Thank you for tuning in. We got French Toaster. Shout out to the pancakes out there as well. Jay Gilly in the chat. J-Rod, what is going on? Crypto Bay. Ill Hero, I think we shouted you out. Inspector Chris, we shouted you out as well. Shout out to Jason. And last but not least, let's see. We got Jay Violet and Greg, and shout out to Darren Does Things popping in as well. But guys, we got a lot of stuff. Shout out to Self-Published. What is going on? Said, love you guys for all your hard work. Shout out to Self-Published. Well, I appreciate you appreciating my and the team's hard work. Speaking of hard work, drop some love in the chat, guys, for our mods. You guys know who they are. Show them some love. But we got a lot to look at here on the charts, so let's go ahead and not waste any more time. Smash that like button, and let's go ahead and jump on into the charts. Let's get into it. So guys, I will be honest, right? I've been in a couple of meetings today, so I actually am kind of fresh on the chart. Not all day, but I am fresh on the charts over a little bit. We got this nice little pump to the upside, but I want to talk about what we were looking at yesterday in terms of bullish signals, potentially looking for that move to the upside. Shout out to Crypto Billy, bro. You are the absolute GOAT, dude. With that super chat. Insane. Show some love for Crypto Billy. I mean, he is a mod too, but shout out Crypto Billy in the chat right now. Let's go ahead and continue on here. Obviously, yesterday, guys, we were looking at a few different things that were potentially pointing to some upside for Bitcoin. Number one, we did have the 3-day green, or I'm sorry, what was it? Was it the 2-day green dot? What is going on here? Were we on Heikenhashi candles potentially? But looking, one of the major things that we were looking at yesterday was this money flow crossover on the daily, finally popping back over into the green here. Actually, a few different things we were looking at. This was one of the major things we were looking at, that money flow crossover into the green on the daily. Obviously, this has been quite choppy recently as we've kind of come into the green, into the red. Now we're back into the green. This was kind of like a little fake out wave into the red. We never really got that huge drop. But we are now finally coming back into the green. The question is this going to give us that big move to the upside that we would hope for? Or is it just going to give us some more bearish signals up here as we deviate above this volume profile? And then are we just going to yeet back down into this volume profile, come back down to the low of the range? Hopefully this is not the case, and as long as this money flow continues into the green, guys, we can potentially expect higher prices to come. And another one of those things that I was looking at that we talked about yesterday was that bullish change of character on the daily. Now, This is something that we looked at quite a while ago. As you guys know, I am am still in a long down here from the deviation of this value area low. And part of the reason why I was looking to hold this for higher prices, expecting that value area high to come in, was, I mean, number one, based off the volume profile, once you flip that value area low to support, you're looking for price to go up to your POC. And then once you flip that POC, you are going to be looking to come up to that value area high. But the reason, right, sometimes when you come up into these POCs, they can get a pretty hard, price can get a pretty hard reaction or rejection from here, and then oftentimes you will test those POCs before getting a big move to the downside. And when you have money flow coming into the red, like we did actually have, we had money flow in the red, at least on the way up, but when you see this, the way one of the reasons why I was looking to hold this, not only for a move up to that value area high, but another reason why I was holding a portion of this trade, I do have partial profits taken. I will see if I can pull this up real quick. Here we go. This is that long position. I have taken $1,380 in profit. I actually think I'm up a little bit on fees there. But I have taken some profit off the table, still up 145%, up about $4,100, still a $28,000 position. And I decided to hold a portion of this trade. And the reason for that, shout out to Mrs. Candles. You should do that on camera. That was like a missed opportunity, Mrs. Candles. Oh, thank you so much, Mrs. Candles. Woohoo, baby. Oh, the mic is, yo. I apologize, guys. That's brutal. That mic was clipping crazy. I wish I could lock these touch buttons. Shout out to Tony D. We should find a microphone that does not have touch buttons on it. I don't know why somehow I always touch these buttons and they turn up. This should be much better. Definitely distorting a little. Yeah, let me know if that is better. Shout out to the Mrs. Candles hands in the chat. Let's go. She just brought me a little bit of coffee. Let's go. Shout out to our friends at Starbucks that almost never charge me for coffee. I do tip them well. I probably spend more than the coffee's worth tipping them, but they never charge me for the coffee. It's a nice gesture. So shout out to the Starbucks down the street. But the Mrs. Candles hands are insane. We heard the sniff sound well. Oh, God. But anyway, hopefully the audio is a little better here, guys. But really what I want to get at is the reason why I was holding a majority of this position. Again, did take out that 1,400 about. But the reason, one of the big reasons I was, Mrs. Candles hands are killing me. Once we got above that value area low, obviously we're going to look for that POC and value area high to come in. But the reason why I am willing to still potentially hold up, still continuing to hold a portion of this is that bullish change of character on the daily time frame. Now, this is something that we looked at when it actually occurred, right? Now, obviously, Bitcoin has been quite boring, so not much has really happened. We kind of got the bullish change of character, and this is what made me expect to go from that POC up to the value area high. We easily got it, right? Very clear move up to that value area high. But with that bullish change of character, what are we going to expect, right? This is typically where you change character, and then at this point, you are going to be much better off longing higher lows rather than looking for big shorts down to zero. And once you change that character, you're going to look for retracements and then breaks of structure to the upside. And we did wind up getting that first break of structure today to the upside. This is exactly what we were looking at. I mean, at this point, we were trying to predict this happening back on the 15th of May. So quite a while ago, because Bitcoin just kind of bing bong sideways here. But you did finally get that break of structure, just kind of showing the power of, I know a lot of people struggle with, trying to remain on the right side of the market. People are trying to short and then they get wrecked, and they try to long and they get wrecked. But understanding these changes of character or just market structure in general, this is what is going to help you kind of, a lot of people ask me, like, Frankie, like, when you get into a trade, what makes you hold and expect those higher prices, right? And a lot of it has to do with market structure, and not only the market structure, but when money flow is also in agreement with that. This is another pretty easy, more simplified way. I know market structure can get confusing for a lot of people. Let's talk about that in a second. But when you have money flow crossing over into the green, the anticipation here, this isn't the best example because it was very choppy, but when you have that money flow crossing over into the green, this is where you are going to expect any pullbacks to be somewhat lackluster to put in a higher low and then continue to the upside. Again, not the best example here because it's so choppy. This is just a reality of the market. At some point, you are going to get these choppy markets, but this is a much more clean money flow crossover, right? So, when you have money flow crossing into the green here, you're not necessarily going to be looking to short the highs, but rather wait for pullbacks to long the higher lows for those next big moves to the upside. By the way, still holding my long position. Let me see if I can bring that up. Is that, let's see, is that still up here? Let me see if I can pull up that trade too. I haven't shown this trade in a while. I've been holding this trade for quite a minute, since back down here in January. It is more of a swing trade. I believe it's up about $10,000. Maybe exaggerating that, maybe not. Let me see here. We'll actually pull it up. Come on, verify me, baby, verify me. All right, well, we'll let that work for a second. But I am still holding that long from 40K. But again, money flow crossing into the green. Once that money flow, as long as that money flow remains in the green, you are going to expect those pullbacks to be lackluster, to put in higher lows, and then break structure to the upside once again. And here we are. Okay, yeah, I actually was not exaggerating. Here we are. Here is that trade up about $10,500. Let's see. I wish. Yeah, I guess it was held since January. We could just look at the chart for that. But yeah, still holding this, right? Still holding this position. We don't just say it. I just am very rarely logged into that account because this is my swing account, so I don't have to check it every single day. But with that being said, guys, are we likely to continue the move to the upside? Well, based off market structure, and I would say as long as we are able to maintain that money flow crossover into the green here on the daily, we could anticipate that any pullbacks are going to be lackluster to continue to the upside. Now, coming on over here to some of the higher time frames, these are a little bit more, I would say, neutral in my opinion. Now, we did look at this a bit yesterday, where if we do wind up coming into those new all-time highs. Let me go ahead and actually let me unhide the TA here. Let me go ahead and make that golden pocket only. And if we do wind up coming back, I'm actually going to get rid of this alert just to clean the chart up. If we do wind up coming into that new all-time high, this is really that next major level of resistance. And then once we break above this, guys, this is where that beautiful price discovery will likely come in for that bigger move to the upside. And we did talk about those higher targets yesterday, getting closer to about the $81,000 mark being like that next big target to the upside. Obviously, we have some more local levels closer to like 71, 75, or not 71, 70, 75, that even $75,000 level, which is pretty close to the new all-time high. But let me see if I can actually pull this up. Pull up that actual chart here. Bada boom, bada bing. Here we are, right? This is what we were looking at yesterday. So if we do break that all-time high here at about $74,000, 75 would be the next major level. And then once we flip that, that's kind of where I would expect price discovery to kind of really start taking effect and bringing us for a big move to the upside. And then that next cluster of resistance is going to come in around about $80,000 to $81,000. And potentially, this would be somewhat of a large range of resistance. But that spider line at about 85,000. We have another fib level at 85.2, and then that spider line, depending on how quickly we get up there, could get you up to that $87,000 mark. Now, I am not calling for this to happen today or tomorrow or even next week or next month, but these are just the levels you want to be aware of to the upside if we do wind up getting that move. But obviously, that all-time high is going to be that next obvious target to the upside. So that is going to be that next major level. And if I want people to be cautious of this, right? In my opinion, if we break out here and we're going to get a big move up, I do expect it to be like an explosion out of nowhere. This is like typically what happens, right? Things get really boring, right? Even on that big news, which was the Bitcoin ETF approval. You get a big drop to the downside. Everybody's all confused. Everyone's like, oh my God, is the fun over? And then out of nowhere, absolute explosion to the upside. And I do think if we break this all-time high and we are going to get a big move up, I do expect it to be very fast and very aggressive, and kind of one of those days where you wake up and you're like, oh my God, Bitcoin ripped. And I do think that is likely to be the case. The one thing I will say is we have to be a bit careful here if we do wind up approaching that level, because if we come up here and we get a fake out of this range high, which is also the current all-time high, this is one of those things where you have to have the key level marked out on your chart, and then you have to go back and assess the price action as you are sitting within it, right? But if we do come out here and we fake out the top of this range, I will be definitely looking for some very specific things that we looked at on last night's live stream, a swing failure pattern potentially, or a liquidity sweep of these highs for potential scalp shorts, right? I do want to be clear. My overall bias is still generally bullish, right? Based off the daily market structure that we've been talking about all the way since back here. As soon as we got that daily change of character, right? I'll just show that one more time. So once we got that daily bullish change of character, that is where I was saying, hey, My bias has to be bullish just based off the market structure. I'm going to be expecting breaks of structure to the upside. We got that today, even though it wasn't that aggressive. But until that changes, we can easily expect these moves to continue to the upside. But that doesn't mean that we just hold and pray that we come up to new all-time highs. We have to be aware that this is key resistance. And if we do wind up seeing price come up here, potentially swing fail or put in nasty bearish divergences, the reason I am going to be careful on the all-time high is simply because if we do get up there and we get a fake out of that range high, we will likely get some pretty nasty divergences here on the higher time frames, potentially on the 6-day, potentially on the weekly. Imagine price pumps up here and you get an SFP, right? Swing failure, and this high is either higher highs on price, lower highs on your momentum waves. This is setting up to potentially give us some kind of bearish divergence on a higher time frame. Doesn't mean that we have to expect a move down to zero, but we looked at this yesterday, looking at previous weekly bearish divergences back here in June of 2023. We had higher highs, lower highs, had that bearish divergence, and it did result in a move down, right? But we didn't have to look down to zero, right? It was simply just a move down before sweeping some liquidity below the lows and then getting that next big move to the upside. So, if we did wind up seeing something like that, and we did get a big move down, everyone's getting super scared, maybe we see something similar to what happened back here in June. So I will just, I just want to say, I am bullish. I do think we could continue up. I do think if we do get it, it's going to be very aggressive, but we have to be careful. There's still resistance ahead. And there is also some very, very interesting levels here. I'm actually going to pull up a different chart real quick. Not giving away anything too secret here, but this weekly naked point of control locally, right? This is locally, and it's really this whole cluster, right? Let me mark this out for you guys. The all-time high, basically at 74,000, all the way down to this weekly naked point of control, which is technically, in my opinion, going to be the next major level of resistance locally, right? Not the big major, all-time high resistance, but if we pop up above here, we have this weekly naked point of control sitting at about 72.6, so this is definitely a zone of resistance you want to be keeping your eye on. This is the wall that we need to break through in order to get that big move to the upside, because not only do we have a weekly naked point of control, and I forgot who asked about it yesterday. Shout out to Golden, said Lambos are overrated. Shout out to Golden. I'm not going to lie, man. I kind of feel like I've grown towards that. I don't know what it is. Something about McLarens recently. McLarens have, baby. Oh, God, McLarens are so cool. Anyway, but shout out to Golden. I just randomly saw that. But I forgot who asked about it yesterday. Somebody asked me yesterday if I could start labeling the EXO naked points of control with like an E or something. But I do typically mark them as gold. So if you're ever looking at a chart of mine and there is a gold naked point of control, it's typically from EXO charts. But this weekly naked point of control at 72.6 is the next local level of resistance, in my own personal opinion. And then you kind of have all three of these levels. You have a weekly naked point of control on top of a daily naked point of control. You can't even see it here, but they are in perfect confluence. Then you have a fresh daily horizontal level and a daily naked point of control, and then like a tick above that, you have the all-time high, right? So this is our next major zone. I will be looking for scalp shorts here, but again, with that overall bias being if we flip this level, we're probably going to see a big move up. But that's the zone, right? So this whole zone is sitting between 73.8, call it 74,000 and 72,567. Those are the next local levels of resistance. And then once we get above there, we're going to be looking up towards those higher levels, which we just went over, right? Getting closer to 81,000. But again, we got to get above that $75,000 level to get up there. But other than that, guys, we are, it's still just kind of brutally sideways. Like, this feels like a big move, but like we're just sideways here. So, we are hitting resistance locally as well as we sit above this value area high. This is typically not where I look for mega longs, right? I would have to wait for a pullback. Granted, I'm already long from the bottom of the range. But maybe we get some turbulence around here, but that is my general plan, guys. We have a lot of resistance ahead, but as soon as we can get above that, we will be in price discovery, and that could cause the bigger move to the upside. Now, shout out to Thesis himself. I said we got a couple. I think we just got a couple of super chats. Shout out to Thesis, bro. Thank you for that super chat. He said, lifted square body Chevys only. Hashtag red. Red Mexican is crazy. LFG. Hashtag Heikinashis are not real. Shout out to Thesis himself. If you guys don't know, Thesis does not believe in Heikinashi candles or yellow X's on Market Cypher A. Shout out to Thesis. Hope you're doing well, bro. Thank you for that super chat. Hey, I don't hate Chevys either. Chevys are nice. But if we're talking supercars, like, I feel like Lambos are just like the staple. But I don't know. McLarens are fire. Hey, there we go. Shout out to Hannah King in the chat. What is going on, Hannah, the princess of the Candle Mafia? Drop those crowns in the chat for Hannah. What is going on, Hannah? I hope you're doing well as well. Shout out to Hannah. But let's go ahead and continue on. Let me make sure I did not miss any super chats here. Shout out to Nick. Said, could you take a look at Arrow? Yes. You know what I think I might do? Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. Maybe I will go ahead and I think I'm gonna freestyle the alts tonight. I think I'm gonna freestyle the alts. We're gonna take a look at Ethereum in just a minute. I just want to put this out there. If you super chat, it does not guarantee that we will see your altcoin. Just I don't want anyone spending money and thinking that's guaranteed. We'd be here for 24 hours a day if that were the case. But let's see. Shout out to Iqbal says Matic TA. Yo, shout out to Hulk Solana. What is going on? Wants me to check out Sol. Please do not flood the super chats, guys. And I'm not saying that like for reverse psychology. Please do not super chat your altcoins. I will take them from the free chat. I appreciate the supers, but it's not guaranteed. You know what? I don't have a pen. Hang on one second. Okay, so we will get shout out to Crypto Billy Mike clipping. Thank you, bro. Let's see. All right, yeah, we'll take a look at Matic. Take a look at Solana. We'll take a look at Arrow. And then I will take the rest. That's the last super chats I'm going to take for the altcoins. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate it. But I just don't want people spending money and then we don't look at it to get disappointed. It just seems not fair. Yo, shout out to Hannah King said 24-hour live stream. I love that idea. Shout out to Hannah. That will happen at some point. I can almost guarantee you. Almost. All right, let's see. All right, let's start with those, and then I'll dip back into the chat. I'll take a couple more here. Let's see. Okay, I'll take that one. I'm not even going to say which ones. Yo, shout out to Jay Gilly. Thank you for the super chat. Said, can you check every alt in existence? Yo, shout out to Jay Gilly. Yes, we're going to start on CoinMarketCap, and we will be here until 2026. Shout out to Jay Gilly. But let's go. Ooh, that's a good one. Shout out to Mr. T. Mr. T Crypto. I don't know if I'll get to all of these, but I just want to get a list here, and then we'll kind of pick from them. Shout out to All Sports Sports. That's a good one as well. Jay Gilly, bro, you're cracking me up. shout out to Jay Gilly. Shout out to Bruno CF said, hi, Frankie. I know you don't have a crystal ball. That's right. Shout out to you, brother. He said, but I have a long on H-bar from 9 cents, and I would like to know your opinion. I love that because I think that could be a teachable moment. Mrs. Candle's labeling my pens with her name. She's just claiming stuff on my desk. That is wild. But shout out to Bruno. We could check out H-bar. I will check that for you. Your entry is 0980. Okay. I like that. I like to break that stuff down. Not to give advice, but just to break down and review the trade. But let's go ahead and jump in here. So let's go ahead and start off on Ethereum. And here we are, right? What was the word on Ethereum yesterday? Simply put, as long as we remain above this value area low, we could expect a continued move to the upside, potentially targeting that POC in the long term. And once we flip that POC, we could potentially be looking up towards that value area high at about 43.91. Looking for that as the second major target. Now, obviously, we are going to have some local resistance in here as well, but before we get into those levels, I do want to talk about those lower levels to the downside that we can be looking at for a potential bounce, right? And obviously, that is going to come in down here where we have not only a golden pocket 786 retracement, but a beautiful spider line flying right through those levels as well. And that is sitting between 36.99 and 36.24. This is beautiful, beautiful confluence. So if we do wind up losing that value area low, we could look for a potential fake out into this strong cluster of support to potentially look for a long position. This is definitely going to be a place I'd be interested in longing ETH if we're lucky enough to get back down there. But until we break that value area low and break below it, we could potentially anticipate these moves back up to that next major target at about $4,085. Can we see a $4,000 plus Ethereum in the next few days? I don't think it's impossible. And if we go ahead and pull our volume profile here, you can see we do have some local resistance as well, right? So I would take this local value area high sitting at 38.66 as a potential place to look for local pullbacks. But again, remember, This value area low is really the key level in the long run. And then the value area low of this local range is also in confluence with that golden pocket at $3,700. So if we came back down here, again, not only would this be a long position for me because of the golden pocket 786 spider line, but also we'd be at the bottom of this local range. And if we deviate to that 786, it would be even saucier, in my opinion, if you can get confirmations to enter the trade. So these are like the local levels, right? Locally, you're looking at 38.66, a decisive breakout with volume of that level could start your journey up to that POC. And as long as you remain above that value area low, that is where we would expect price to go. Now, coming on over to the higher time frames, we also have a nice green dot printing on Ethereum right now with that money flow coming straight back up. This does not look too bad in my opinion. And if just based off of the way these waves are forming right now, guys, if we do get a move up and we push into that POC, this could potentially give us somewhat, right? Not that this is like going to be the top or anything, but if we did come up here, we could look at this. If we get this higher high on price action and this lower high on the momentum waves, and we get that daily bearish divergence at the POC, we could look for a move back to the downside, and we could potentially scalp some shorts on that pullback, right? Doesn't mean that we're shorting this to zero or new lows or anything like that. But we could easily profit off the shorts on these small moves down, even if we're looking to put in higher lows and continue the move up. There is money to be had on every single move in the market, right? So that is kind of what I would be expecting. If we did get that move up, I would just be cautious at that POC. I would not be FOMO buying at resistance like that, just like I wouldn't FOMO buy at resistance here. I'd much rather see a pullback. But green dot on the daily could easily continue us up. And those are the key levels, right? Same thing as yesterday. Even if you get rid of this local range, to keep it simple, stay above the value area low, continue to the upside, eventually making it to that POC. Price action is messy. Price action is confusing, but eventually you are going to look for that move up to the POC. Now, if we break down, sure, this is bearish, but until we break that 786, I wouldn't really be freaking out. I would be interested in longs as long as we're able to maintain support or get bullish confirmations at those levels. This is simple. This is kind of, I don't want to overcomplicate it. Those are the key levels. That's what is to be expected. And not only given the key levels of resistance and support, but also those lines in the sand where things are likely going to flip much more bearish. If we lose that 786, that would be very bearish in my opinion. We looked at this yesterday. We do have this volume gap starting just at that 786. So once we get below there, can't get back above, you could easily fall through that gap, hitting the 346 level right here, or 342.6. Why am I saying it like that? 3,426, and then all the way down here to about 474. Just a couple of local levels, but in my opinion, I wouldn't really pay much attention to those. I would, once you lose that 786, let me change this preset. Once you lose that 786, I would expect some kind of a pretty quick fall, right? Quick moves up oftentimes mean quick moves down. And then in my opinion, the next major level of support, if you do fly through this whole low volume gap, would be this blue box getting closer to about 32.50. So other than that, that is what I would be looking at on Ethereum. And something I do want to talk about really quickly, guys, is could we potentially be on the cusp of an alt season incoming? And I'll say this. We have the Ethereum ETFs. I do think once those get, not approved, but once those go live, I think this could kick off alt season, because if we do see Ethereum start to get a move up off that news or just off the influx of buy pressure, FOMO, whatever happens, if we get that big move up, obviously a lot of the altcoins are going to follow Ethereum, but there is something else that I would be looking at. If we look at the ETH BTC chart, come on over here. This is somewhat exciting, guys. We have a bullish engulfing candle here on the monthly. This could potentially, not only that, right? I was looking at this yesterday, and I generally don't do like super in-depth analysis on like ETH BTC pairs or anything like that. But when you see a bullish engulfing candle like this could mean that we are on the cusp of a potential or not on the cusp of a potential reversal only as we have moved down here. Obviously, this would indicate a potential reversal. But as Ethereum could start to outperform Bitcoin, this is typically where we see those alt seasons come in. And that bullish monthly, that bullish engulfing candle on the monthly is somewhat of a good sign. And on top of that, if you look, we actually also have somewhat of a tiny, I wouldn't write home about this, but we have a tiny little bullish divergence here on the monthly. And look at the money flow crossover into the green. Last time we had a money flow crossover into the green, that candle wound up giving us Come on. There we go. About a 72% pop to the upside for ETH BTC. So there are a few things pointed to the upside here on the ETH BTC chart. And this could obviously be very bullish for other altcoins, because if we see Ethereum start to significantly outperform Bitcoin, and we just get a big pump on ETH in general, we are likely to see the big moves on other altcoins. So I just wanted to bring that up. I was looking at that last night, and I was like, man, I don't really look at this chart very often, but that would be bullish in my opinion. And if you're questioning what a bullish engulfing candle is, you can see this candle fully engulfs the previous bearish candle, right? So this does oftentimes indicate a reversal, and I'm not honestly even really that huge on candlestick patterns. Obviously, understanding what the candles are saying to you is very important, but really that bullish divergence is something I typically put a little bit more weight on. So this is, and especially on the monthly, that could be very, very, very nice. Now you also, have bullish divergences confirmed here on the weekly. Now obviously VWAP's already rolling back over, but this does look like we could be potentially seeing a move up in the near term. So this would be like another reason to potentially lean a little bit more bullish here. Never just gung-ho bullish up only, right? Because we're not going to get wrecked on the other end of things. We trade the charts here, and I only trade the information I see on the chart, right? So if I think it's looking bullish today, and then tomorrow we get new information, it starts looking really bearish, you bet your bottom dollar that I am going to make a 180-degree turn and go in the opposite direction to make money on the way down. But that was pretty interesting on ETH, so I just wanted to show you that. Those are the key levels on Ethereum. And not only that, but the line in the sand on where I see price getting a big drop if we lose critical support, which again is going to be that 786. So with all that being said, there is Ethereum. Let's see. Can you take a look at USDT dominance? Looking interesting on higher time frames. Shout out to Dave Hagen. Shout out to you, bro. I will try to take a look at that if we have time. I want to jump into all of these altcoins. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Okay, so let's go ahead. I want to check out H-bar really, really quickly. Let's take a look. Bada boom. Okay, so let's see here. And shout out, I forgot who said they had a position. Who said they had a position on H-bar? I'm gonna take a look here, and I'm gonna break down your trade a little bit. Hopefully, you don't mind. I'm gonna rip you apart. Honestly, where you're in? You're at 980. So you are in. Oh, baby. You are in like almost right on this. Yeah, so I believe that's your position. You're almost in right on that daily naked point of control. Nice work. I mean, honestly. Yeah, who was the let's see. There we go. Was it Mike Vito? No. Long H-bar 41. Yo, shout out to Diddy. Shout out to Diddy. Says, is Frankie's calves pumping? Potentially they are pumping. I am always doing calf raises, guys. I actually have a camera that counteracts the movement, so you can't see me moving, but I just turned it off, turned it back on. So now you guys, it actually stabilizes it pretty well. Bruno, that's right. It was Bruno CF. So yeah, I will say this. Very logical trade here. Right into a daily naked point of control, lower lows on your price action, higher lows here on that 4-hour bullish divergence. And I will tell you this, Bruno, you cannot just do what I would do, right? Because that might not work out. And then, you got to make your own financial decisions. I am not a financial advisor. I'm just some crazy guy on YouTube screaming about crypto, or trading, I really should say. But I will say this. This is oftentimes what I look for to get into long positions. A bullish divergence into a key level of support, which is a daily naked point of control sitting right here. And not only that, but you are now seeing money flow start to trend where? To the upside. So if we know that money flow indicates the longer term trend, right? Meaning the trend, right? What happens when money flow crossed over into the red here, right? You get a trend to the downside. But those trends have little bounces to the upside. Another move down, a bounce to the upside. Another move down, bounce to the upside, down, up, down, up, down, up, right? But money flow kind of smooths out that noise. And as long as that money flow is in the red, any bounce to the upside, you are going to be expecting to be a lower high and then another break to the downside. So with that being said, we could potentially, typically, when we see nice, strong bottoms, and you guys know we like the strong bottoms on this channel, when you do see these nice, strong bottoms come in at a nice key level of support here, I like to see those bullish divergences with money flow coming up. And Once that money flow, the nice thing is you are in here right on that divergence confirmation. So, at this point, you could potentially, depending, I don't know how you manage the trade. I don't know how much money you have in. I don't know what leverage you're on. If you're on leverage, I have no idea. Is this a long-term investment? So these are questions you have to ask yourself to make your own financial decision, because again, I'm not a financial advisor. But for me, right, this is potentially a scenario based on your risk management and how you've managed the trade so far, where you could have your, you could have your stop loss, right? If you're, in just right about here, you could potentially even have your stop loss at break even. And if that money flow crosses into the green, you're going to be expecting higher lows and higher highs, right? So at that point, if you're expecting any kind of higher low here, you're likely not going to get stopped out, right? In my opinion, right? Not financial advice. But if you're going to come in and put a higher low and a continued higher high, and you are already in early before that money flow crossover, you could potentially be at the bottom here of a significant trend on the 4-hour time frame. So shout out to Bruno. If I were in this position personally, I would probably be looking to, again, this depends on a lot of different stuff, right? It doesn't mean that you can't come down and stop yourself out, but just based off even this volume profile here, we went from the low, POC, got very noisy. Technically, once you flip that POC, if that money flow crosses over into the green on the 4-hour, could look for a continued move up here. And if we are going to see the alt season come in here, if that bullish engulfing candle on ETH BTC means anything, if that bullish divergence on the monthly on ETH BTC means anything, if that weekly bullish divergence means anything, right? And we are going to see that move up. Potentially, you could see a little bit more of a move up here on H-bar. And just looking, disregarding all that stuff, just looking at the chart here, it's a nice entry, man. That's a nice entry. And let me do some fresh TA here to get some key levels. Get rid of this, and let's go ahead and pull this. Is kind of a, this, I wouldn't even look at this. Let's pull a fib from, let's see, pull it from this high to the low. For me personally, right, just me personally, let me go ahead and get rid of this line. Let me pull this volume profile. So if I were in this trade personally, let me get the, is this just pulled all the way here? Yeah, what is this volume? I'm going to get rid of this. I don't know what this is old. I don't know what that's from. But yeah, so if we pull this kind of whole wonked out range here, I know it's very wonky. I actually don't even know if I'd look at it, but the levels are respected here. But let me actually go ahead and pull this more locally. Right, yeah, so this is the context that I'd be looking at this trade in, right? So locally here on the 4-hour, you got a deviation from the low, right? And this is actually something you can use, the Frankie Candles Essentials. Let me see if I can, shout out to the CandleMafia. Let me see if I can, let's see if we can do this, right? So let me pull that range from here to the current price action. Come on in here. I'm going to change it. If anybody doesn't know, it's my free Lux Algo indicator, or my free indicator in collaboration with Lux Algo. Shout out to Lux Algo. By the way, if you guys want to check out any of their premium indicators, you can check out luxalgo.com or click the link in the description down below and check out all their premium indicators. But right now, I do want to focus on my free indicator, which you can easily just type my name into TradingView and you can use it, no strings attached. But let me go ahead and change this. I want to look for the divergences. We have auto divergence detection here. I don't know why I'm holding my hand up like this, but what am I doing here? Divergence oscillator. I want to pull the divergences from Market Cipher because that is typically what I look for on my divergences. I'll keep the settings. Yeah. So typically, I'm going to mark this out. Here's your volume profile. Shout out to Bruno CF. Listen, I'm not saying that this is guaranteed going to yeet up. You are hitting resistance here, but this is the context I look at on this trade. Whew. Oh, man, I hope this plays out in your favor, bro, because this could be good, right? I'm not saying to hold the trade. I actually stress you to take profits, not financial advice. That would be what I'm doing, right? But we have our volume profile. Deviation from the high, back to the POC, back to the low. Then we get that sauce can, bullish divergence as you deviate below the volume profile. This is where you look for longs. Shout out to the sauce can. You get to move back into the range, flip that value area low to support. Where is price going from here? Very likely the next stop is going to be your POC. Once you hold above that POC, you're going to look for a bigger move up to that value area high, and you can just see how beautifully this works. And then once you deviate above the highs, this is where you look for your short entries. You look to go to the POC, and then the value area low. It happens once again. And now you have that deviation below the range, which is typically where I like to look for longs. And I'm not going to lie, not only did you get a sauce can letting you know this could be a significant bottom, or you could be approaching a significant bottom, but you obviously have this nice 4-hour bull div with money flow coming up. So if you're able to get above this value area low, which by the way is sitting at about 10.5 cents or 0.10489, if you are able to flip this level to support, we could potentially see a continuation up to that POC. And then, as you know, this would probably not be a bad TP for me, right? Golden pocket POC confluence. You have to expect turbulence here. And then once you flip above that POC, where's that next place going to be for price to go? Likely it's going to be up to that value area high 786. Let me pull off this Lux Algo. Shout out to Lux Algo. But yeah, this is, by the way, free indicator, guys. 100% free, no strings attached, no email, no phone number, no anything like that, no free trial. You can just search my name in TradingView, and then make sure you're clicking the one that is by Lux Algo. But this could be good, man. If I were in this position, very simply put, long from here, my plan for this trade, if I were in this exact position, right? Again, depending on like the context of why you took this trade, for me personally, if I got in here, I'd be taking a partial take profit here, waiting to get this level to flip to support. If I get the money flow crossover into the green, that's a good indication to me that I probably want to continue holding the trade, and then you can look for a move to the POC. This would be another take profit for me, and once we get up to that POC value area high 786, that would be another TP for me as well, for a total of a beautiful 17% move. Now, again, I don't know if you're using leverage, etc., but that is not a bad trade, my friend. So that is your key level. You got to get above that 10-cent level, flip that area to support to see the bigger move up through the range, and that is very simply put going to be what I would be looking at, right? And in turn, not only was that a little bit of a trade review, but also, just the general analysis here, right? So this would be pretty important level of resistance to look at on top of the value area high 786. Bada boom. So there you go. That is what I'd be looking at on 8-bar. Take a quick look at the daily. You got the daily green dot confirmed money flow coming up. This will be another thing to look at. Once you get that daily money flow crossover, could be a good sign as well. But let's go ahead and continue on here. Shout out to Bruno. Hopefully that helps you out, brother. Again, not financial advice. That's just what I would do. Let's see. Shout out to Luana. Said yesterday I made a bad trade off render. To be honest, it was because of FOMO. Sadly, it's hard to control, but I try my best every day. But I bought render at 1060 at leverage 15x. I don't know. I should sell it now or wait. Well, shout out to Luana. Just understand that this, that FOMO is always going to be a thing that you feel. It's always going to be a thing that you're going to battle with. And as long as it's not going to discourage you and make you give up, you will eventually get over that. And the fact that you even recognize that that's why you messed up the trade was because of that FOMO. You have already beat 90% of people. Because you were able to notice that, right? And understand that, that's part of it. This is why, I talk a lot about journaling your trades, right? I used to do this a lot. I should do it more often now than I do. But if you journal your trades, this is why it's so important, right? What made you hold that trade? What made you enter last minute? What made you hold it while it was going against you for so long? Why did you take your stop loss off? Whether you win or you lose, you journal, what did you feel, right? Were you nervous? What did you do? Did you let the emotions get to you? And you have to look at this. What mistakes did you make? And as long as you're able to recognize those, and writing them down would be even better, but as long as you at least recognize the mistakes that you're making, you're able to at least try to fix those mistakes, right? So hopefully that makes sense. Shout out to Luana. Again, you're ahead of the crowd here as long as you're able to recognize that stuff. Shout out to KGD. Said Frankie Candles Essentials, the name of the indicator. Yeah. So if you type in Frankie, not here. There's no ticker for my name. I'm sure there is somewhere. But if you just go to your indicators tab, type in Frankie. It is Frankie. I don't think you'll see any of these other ones because these are all like tests that we did. Or at least this was. You won't see this. You'll only see one, but just make sure it's by Lux Algo. It'll be the only one by Lux Algo. And then you just click it, and then you select your range that you want to select to look at your volume profile. And then you can, use the automatic fib levels, the automatic divergence detection. All the settings are in there. I have a tutorial on the channel to show you how to use it. I'm sure the mods probably already dropped it. But go ahead and check that out if you want. Shout out to K Diggity. Says, it's seriously free. I just did it. Shout out to you, bro. Absolutely. Thank you, brother. You're the man. Big love. Shout out to KGD. Shout out to you, bro. Big love right back at you. Shout out to VW John. Said, Frankie always bringing the sauce. Shout out to you, bro. Shout out to Mike Vito. We got the Godfather in the chat. What is going on, brother? But let's go ahead and continue on. That was a little H-bar breakdown, little educational part of the stream to help anyone out there trying to learn how to actually trade. Let's take a quick look. Let's take a look at Solana. Shout out to our boy. Here we go. Hulk Solana? Is that the whole name? I feel like I'm missing a part of that name. Hulk Solana. Got the whole thing. Shout out to Hulk. Good to see you in here, bro. I hope you're doing well. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look here. I'm actually going to get rid of the Frank Candles Essentials indicator just real quick, just so we can take a clean look here. So, I mean, here we are, guys, right? Like, looking at Solana, we looked at this yesterday, pretty much in the same situation, right? All in all, if we get rid of all these levels, right, very simply put, we flipped the value area low and the POC to support down here. The only other target, the next target to look for is going to be that value area high, but we have to understand that, you know, price is turbulent. Price doesn't like to move all that cleanly, right? So maybe it does something like that, and then eventually you're going to be looking for that value area high coming in at $205. Now, one thing to realize here is that, these local levels of resistance may be the kind of things that we look at for that kind of turbulence that I talked about, right? But again, in the grand scheme of things, if you want to keep it simple, you're a longer-term investor, you're not worried about holding this down for a little dip, and you're just looking to hold Solana long-term, this is the volume profile that I would be looking at for context. Value area high, which is key resistance, sitting at 205.72. And then your POC and your value area low are very close to each other, between about 141 and 133. So this is kind of the range, right? And then the other levels are just intermediary levels that we would look at for a lower time frame context, right? Because if we look at this within the context of this, we could say, hey, if we flip this value area low, this local value area low to support, we could look for a little move up to this local POC, where we would likely get some turbulence. And then once we flip that, we can look up to come to that local value area high, which is just looking at this range from this volume profile. But obviously, not everybody's looking for those small moves, right? So that's why I show the grander scheme of things. And to be honest with you, it's kind of the same. It's kind of the same as yesterday, right? Just looking for the bing bong. Other than that, let's see. Could potentially see a little bit of a cool off here. You got some red dots looking to print on your medium time frames. 4-hour red dot confirmed. But yeah, money flow crossover into the green here on the 4-hour. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I would just be looking for sideways / targeting the value area high. Maybe we bing bong, look for that move up to the value area high. Solana, not looking too bad. All right, let's see. And I wouldn't even talk about the lower levels because, like, as long as you're within this bigger range, like, you're not really expecting anything too crazy. Unless we break out of this value area high aggressively, not looking for much of a bigger move to the upside. And unless we break down below this value area low, I wouldn't be looking to those lower support levels. And again, just a macro range here. All right, let's go ahead. Shout out to Hulk Solana. So I wish I can give you more, brother. But this thing has just gone sideways for quite a bit here. All right, 12 days of just basically, almost no movement. Unless you're scalping, right? That 7% move here is not that bad. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick look at Matic. Check in on chat as well. Go ahead and bada boom, bada bing. All right, let's see. Shout out to Luana. I will check that for you in just a second. And what is that on? That's on render. Yeah, we could check out render. All right, let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to Al Jr. said, Frankie, what you said about making the decision hit deep. I saw my short turn around to the negative 5%, 15%, and just got scared to press close. Now I'm fudged. Shout out to Al Jr. I know that feeling, brother. That is one of the biggest things that I struggled with was literally removing my stop loss as price approached it. Now, you have to think to yourself, guys, this is literally 90% of trading. I usually say 80%, but it's literally almost 90% of it. You have to be willing to, shout out to Sleet. Yeah, we could take a look at ABT, no problem. Matic is a stable coin. Shout out to Mark. You're not wrong. At least not recently. You're pretty on there. But you have to identify, right? Al, this is important, right? Because, why do you move that? Why do you take that stop loss off, right? Why do you not close the trade when you hit that limit that you wanted to set, right? And at the end of the day, for me, what it came down to was I realized that I didn't want to lose the trade, right? I didn't want to accept that I was wrong. I got to close this trade, right? I just wanted to pray that it was going to turn around. I didn't think it was going to turn around based off information. I just hoped that it was going to turn around, and I didn't want to put a loss in the books. But the longer you trade and the more experience you get, the more you realize that it's not as much about the wins and the losses, but more about how you treat the wins and the losses. You need to learn how to let the winners run, and you have to. This is what I struggled with, right? The only reason I'm explaining this, Al, I'm sure you know this, right? I'm not roasting you. I'm saying this because this was me. You have to accept the loss because 5 small losses are much better than 1 giant liquidation, right? Because you have 5 chances to win, and you're only taking a small loss each time rather than just gambling a bunch of money and then losing all of it at one shot, right? So this is, a huge thing. And, I'll be honest, like even sometimes now more recently, I still struggle with that. I don't act on these emotions, but I feel them. When I go to get stopped out of a trade, I'm still thinking like, nah, and especially now, right, after having more experience, I'm thinking like, nah, I could find something on the chart to like hold this, right? Like, yeah, well, we got the money flow coming up on the 5-minute, maybe it'll go back up, right? But, the best thing I can say is set that stop loss. Set that stop loss based off information on the chart, support levels, resistance levels, whatever it is, right? And then don't touch it. Set it as a limit order, right? Actually put the stop loss. Don't manually stop yourself out. Set it and just let yourself lose the trade. And sit there and soak it in. Be like, I lost, but I didn't get liquidated. I took a small, manageable loss. We talked about this yesterday, and I can't stress it enough. It seems repetitive, but it's extremely important, and it is by statistics the thing that most people struggle with. This is why most people are not profitable traders, in my opinion, right? Maybe not even in my opinion, maybe just factually. It is not because of your strategy. It is not because you don't have fire setups. It's not because you don't know the key levels. These are all important things in trading, but not as important as your risk management, right? We did this yesterday, right? Stopped out for a small loss. Stopped out for a small loss. Stopped out for a small loss. Full win. Half TP. Full win. This will always trump the small losses. Sometimes 1 win can cover all 3 past losses, or at least bring you back to break even on that, right? So I cannot stress enough the importance of keeping your stops smart, based off technicals, and set them in stone. Do not move your stop loss down. If you are moving your stop loss down, not only you would have been better off probably losing the trade, getting stopped out on your original stop, right? If you find yourself, I'm going to pull my stop loss down a little bit, and I'm not perfect, guys. I find myself wanting to do this as well, but that is wrong, right? You are doing something wrong. This is what I tell myself. I want to move that stop loss, but I just know that's wrong. Oh, but if I don't move it down, I'm going to lose the trade. A small loss will always be better. 5 small losses will always be better than a full-on liquidation, right? Now, obviously, depending on, that's assuming the same position sizes and all that. But yeah. Hey, shout out to Golden. Thank you for the super chat, bro. He says, I could pump BTC up. It's easy. I just have to short it by 50x leverage with 10K, and it'll move up and stop me out. That's how it works, right? Shout out to Golden. Let's go. I feel like Golden could probably just buy some Bitcoin and pump it. But shout out to Golden. No, please don't do that, Golden. Please don't do that. It does feel like that sometimes. One of the most common comments I get, guys, is like, oh, like, how come I feel like every time I buy, price goes down, and every time I sell, price goes up, right? This is a very common thing, right? There's a reason why everybody says this. It's because trading is hard, and it's a psychological game, and humans are all very similar. So if you don't, if you're just following general psychology, or you're just going by, how most people are thinking, it's why most people lose money, because literally, I tell people, like, I don't recommend doing this as an actual strategy, but more often than not, in the beginning, if you have no experience, if you think you should buy, if you just sold when you thought you should buy, you're probably going to make more money, right? Because when you first jump into this, you're going to see a big green candle, and you're going to think, hey, I'm going to chase that, right? And I'm going to FOMO in. We're breaking out. And then you're going to get stepped on, right? And this is because most retail, and we are retail as well, but I like to call us smart retail or smretail. Once you understand things like liquidity, and shout out to Golden, I know it's a joke. He understands a lot of this. But once you understand liquidity and stuff, you start to realize that a lot of the ways that we make money trading is by taking advantage of inexperienced retail traders, right? Because if you know that there's a lot of stop losses above a level, and you know what to look for as those stops get hit or stop hunted, right? If you've ever gotten into a position, had price stop you out before going in the direction you thought anyway, you're probably a victim of a stop loss hunt. And, when you understand how that works and you can look for the liquidity sweeps and you understand how the market actually moves, you can actually start getting on the right end of the market. And when everybody else gets, I'm not saying that's what happens here, but as everyone else gets wrecked, right? They're all long, we're breaking out, long, right? And you know that you're getting a liquidity grab here. This is oftentimes where everyone's longing and we are shorting, right? And people are like, wow, we're pumping. Why is this idiot short? And then boom, they get wrecked. And the people who understand how the market moves make money. So there you go, right? Not that we only, trade liquidity concepts, but this is like oftentimes where retail loses, where the more experienced money will make actual profit. It's just the understanding of like why the market moves to certain places, and a lot of it has to do with liquidity, orders in the market, and just understanding where price is going to be gravitated towards, right? And then we have awesome tools like the volume profile, where if you don't want to get that nitty gritty, you could simply just like look at this as, hey, you're above the value area high. This is where I look for shorts. Find the confirmation, take the short, ride it back to the value area high, the POC, and then eventually the value area low. And that is a very, very profitable strategy. Now, it's not that easy, right? There's more details. You got to know the actual confirmations that you're looking for up here, which we do look more for in the premium Discord. But, this is why a lot of people lose money, right? So, yeah, shout out to Al Jr. Don't feel too bad, brother. Don't feel too bad, but just understand what probably went wrong and try to fix it. And you might not be able to fix it the next time you try. You might make that same mistake 5 more times. I know for me, even when I started understanding once I started understanding, what I was doing wrong, I still made the same mistake 10 times, right? It's the human condition. You're not only fighting. Trading is so hard. Not only is it one of the hardest skills to learn, but even once you learn the skill perfectly, you still have to fight the hardest thing to defeat, your own brain. This is why trading is so hard. It's not that technical analysis is so confusing that no one can understand. I try to break it down as simple as possible, right? I like to show people that it doesn't have to be as confusing as other people make it. I try to simplify it in normal people terms, because people think that's what's hard about trading, but it's not. You can be the best analyst in the world and still be a horrific trader, right? And I think I was in that position for a while. I was great at the analysis, but I was a horrible trader, and it was all up here, and that is the hardest thing to change. Discipline and psychology and emotion management is the hardest thing, right? And risk management requires all that stuff. So anyway, let's go ahead and continue on. Shout out to Chemistry. Chemistry Bro says, just become a robot, set and forget, buy, sell, TP. Absolutely. That is the easiest way to do it, especially as a beginner. But looking at Matic here, shifting focus a little bit, I got to say that stuff, guys, anytime I get a chance, because this is literally what will make people profitable. It's not the sexy stuff. But anyway, we give the sexy stuff as well. So simply put here, guys, what are we looking at, right? We are looking at a... we're looking at a deviation below the volume profile here, right? We have our value area high up here at about $1.08, value area low, or our doorway to higher prices sitting at about 73 cents. What's happening? We are consolidating just below resistance, right? You could look at this as bullish, in my opinion, right? You kind of have an ascending triangle here where you have a flat top of resistance with a uptrending line of support, right, or trend line. This oftentimes will break up more than it breaks down, but it's not just the pattern, right? It's not just, price isn't going to do that just because of the pattern. More likely, price will move based off liquidity and, orders in the market, obviously. But I actually like this, right? I actually do not hate the way this looks, because if we have that flat line of resistance and that trend, right, we have this ascending triangle formation, and we know these break up more than they break down. The statistical probability is more likely for it to break up. Doesn't mean it can't break down, but it's more statistically probable to get that move to the upside. Well, do we have anything else pointing to that? Well, look at that doorway to higher prices, right? If we break out of this ascending triangle, what are we also doing? We're flipping that value area low to support. What does this mean, right? This means that this is our doorway to higher prices, and once we flip that level to support, the next likely place for price to go is going to be... Creighton C is not here today, is he? Shout out to Creighton C. I hope you're doing well, brother. But let me know where that next likely place for price to go is once you flip that value area low. If you've been watching the show for any longer than 30 seconds, you should know the answer. Let's see. Point of control. Shout out to Stupid Bitcoin. Dave Digital coming in. Pennywise, let's go. There they are. Let's go. Because I can bump it, or as I like to call him, Koozie can. Salute, my brother. And shout out to Mario Fibonacci. I'm going to talk about that in a second. But yes, the POC and the value area high. If you put value, Golden put value area high, value area low, bing bong, POC. But yeah, once you flip that, not only would you get a breakout of an ascending triangle, but also flipping that value area low to support would open up the door to make that next target your POC at about 89 cents. Flip that level to support could give you that next move up to about $1.08. So that would just be kind of my general plan. Now, for me, I don't personally just like long randomly, right? I like to look at the range here. I like to wait for a key support level to get hit. That's where I like to find my long position. But there's also another way you can look at this. Some people would look at this as somewhat of a bear pennant. Now, is this true? I would say it's, it could look like that. Yeah. And this is, I don't really put too much weight on the patterns. I use it as like a confirmation more, or just like as a bias. Like I look at it and take it into account, right? But I'm looking at order flow. I'm looking at other things to actually make my trading decisions. So if this was a bear flag or a bear pennant, right, these would statistically break to the downside. So this is another way that you could look at it. But for me, again, right, what are we looking at? Let's look at the money flow. Well, if this was going to crack to the downside and break to the downside, what would money flow be doing on the 4 hour? Right? Money flow, if this was going to trend to the downside, money flow, more often than not, would be coming down, crossing over into the red. But what do we have here? Right? We have money flow crossing into the greens. Actually doesn't look too bad. Now, you are a little overbought here, right? So I wouldn't expect it to just go, up immediately. But maybe you bing bong around here. But if this money flow continues into the green, you could break up. And then at that point, it's a very, very clear roadmap. You're looking for a break above the value area low, and then you're inside your volume profile. Very, very simply put. Very similar to, I think this was where we took our last long on Matic, I believe. I don't think it was down here. I think it was right around here is what we were looking at, right? We already deviated below this macro value area low, and then I actually believe I found my entry in this little range right here. I found a deviation on the low, took the long position here, and I believe we wrote it up basically to the top here. I think this is where we took it. But again, right, like why was I anticipating that big move up? We were holding support above the value area low, right? So same thing here. Kind of decision time for Matic. Get above here. If you wanted to be safe, I would say maybe just wait for a move, for me. Wait for a move above that value area low, and then enter in on the retracement and the flip of that key level to support. So there you go. Take a look at the daily really, really quickly here. Whoops. Yeah, green dot confirmed. Money flow also still headed in the right direction, in my opinion. As long as that continues up, could give us a bigger move to the upside. So there you go. That is what I'd be looking at on Matic. Pretty clean cut here. And then if this does wind up being a bear flag, right, or a bear pennant, and we do wind up breaking down out of nowhere, which again, money flow is pointing opposite of that. Money flow will be pointing more towards a move up. But if you did get a big move down, you have these nice, very clear levels of support. $57,000 to $55,000, 55 to 57 cents is going to be a very key level of support. And then you also have these levels down here, just below that at about 52 to 50 cents. Going to be very, very big zone of support if you do get down there. But again, money flow would technically, in my opinion, be pointing to the upside. All right, let's go ahead and continue on. Set a stop loss. Shout out to Mike Vito. Shout out to Chemistry Bro. Said, when next pump? When? I'm ready. Let's go. Shout out to Ken Bro. Shout out to Derek Brown. What is going on, brother? Good to see you. Week's Wife Fine 89. What is going on? Dr. Crimson's girlfriend. We got everybody in the chat right now. I'm alive and kicking. Calling that a win. Let's go. Shout out to Dr. Crimson. Yeah, I would say that. Same for myself. All right, let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to Ice God. Said, Frankie-based candles. Shout out to you, bro. Ice God. You got like are you jeweler? Are you jeweler, bro? I'm always trying to look for jewelers. Anyway, let's see here. Dave is here. Okay, now we can start. Absolutely. Shout out to Golden. Says calf. Golden, we got to do it for you, brother. Oh, yeah, baby. There we go. All right, here we go. Okay, so Luana, let's go ahead and check out render for Luanda. Luana. I don't know. I added Wanda in there. All right, let's take a look at render. I believe. Shout out to Luana. Just drop drop what you were looking for. I didn't write down the. Yeah, let me know your entries and everything like that. Let's see. All right, let's continue here. Bada boom, bada bing. And the slap day made. Shout out to Dr. Crimson's girlfriend. Yeah, actually hit that hard. See if it leaves a handprint. Can I file an abuse charge against myself? Anyway, did I seriously just look away for a second of a calf reveal? Shout out to K Diggity. Don't make me do it again. Okay, so Luana said I bought at 1060. Okay, so let's take a look here. Now, again, Luana, I do want to really stress here that no matter what I say, Price can do whatever it wants, and you should not make any decisions based off what I say. This is for entertainment purposes only, and educational purposes off just, entertainment, I guess, saying what I would do, right? Now, did we get it right more than we get it wrong? I would say so, but, not a financial advisor. So let me see here. So let me see. Yo, you guys are crazy. Okay, 1060. Let's see. Oh, Golden with the super chat. Golden with the gifted membership. Shout out to Golden for gifting those 50 Frankie Candles memberships. Start those golden waterfalls. Good Lord. I must have said that word too many times in my life. I can't get it out of my head. Golden Waterfall in the chat. Drop that golden emoji if you just got a free membership from Golden. Shout out to you, bro. We appreciate you. Let's go. You show one calf slap, and Golden comes in and just absolutely blesses the Mafia. Let's go. Smash that like button, guys. Going for 550 tonight. Shout out to Golden. If you got a membership, smash that like button. We should go up about 50 likes. Let's go. It's crazy, bro. But let's go ahead and take a quick look here. I want to see, I think we have a render chart here. Okay. All right. So let's see. What was it? 1060. Okay. Yeah. Now, obviously, shout out to Luana. This is obviously going to be, depending on, the leverage you're using, all this stuff. But I will just give you the TA based off of this, right? I would say, yeah, all right. Let me extend this a bit. So these are definitely the key levels I would look at, right? So you do have your value area high, 786, which you didn't tap the 786, but you did at that value area high, right? What is going on here? We went from the low, held it as support, right? And I would have to move these levels slightly. You went from the low, held it as support, went to the POC, stuck the POC, and then you look for a push up to the value area high. You got it. Back to the POC, back to the value area high. So this is your key level of support, Luana. Shout out to Tony D. Said, at Frankie Candles, please go to the free Discord and read my latest post from the promos event page below announcements. Shout out to Tony D. Guys, stick around for the next 5 minutes to see your boy Frankie Candles get lost in Discord live in front of hundreds of people. Smash the like button if you like Frankie being confused in Discord. But as of right now, Luana, your absolute key level of support is going to be the POC of the range. Because, and we're going to take a look at Market Cipher here and the money flow, etc. In just a second. I will say this. The money flow here on the daily does not look horrible. But this does not mean, right, that you're just going to yeet straight to the upside. But this would, over time, as long as you get that money flow crossover into the green, this would call for more upside. Now, as long as you hold above that POC, we could potentially anticipate a move back to the value area high and maybe potentially a break up to these next levels where you have a weekly and daily naked point of control, especially if you get that green dot on the, that green money flow crossover on the daily. Now, the danger here, Luana, in my opinion, if I were in a long position here, is if you come down, right, and you lose this POC, very likely you come all the way back down to that $9 mark, right, at the value area low. So you're kind of in the danger zone, but the good thing is it's not like you're above this POC and the chart looks like garbage, right? That money flow crossover into the green on the daily doesn't look too bad. I wouldn't think a cool off is going to be unlikely here, right? Red dot looking to print on your 6 hour, 4 hour red dot confirmed, but your money flow is headed in the right direction. So what do we look at here? When that money flow is headed in that direction, you are going to be looking for any push to the downside, obviously within the context of the time frame you're looking at, right? The 4 hour or the daily. Any pullback here on the 4 hour, I would anticipate to be a higher low and a continuation to the upside. But again, this is all going to be dependent on your risk tolerance, what kind of leverage you're using, because if you're on 100x leverage, you get this move, you're going to get liquidated, right? If you're on 2x leverage, you have a lot more room to play. So money flow on the 4 hour doesn't look bad. Maybe short-term cool-offs But money flow actually doesn't look too bad on a lot of these time frames. Fresh 8-hour money flow crossover as well. So, even if you were to break this down a little more locally, if we go ahead and hide this, break this down a little more local, right? Oh, man, I'm not going to lie. I was kind of looking for hope there, but maybe we could pull it here. Yeah, I mean, maybe you get one more push of that value area high. These would be local levels on render for me. Those were more macro levels that we just looked at. Here's some more local levels, which, if you're leverage trading out there, these are going to be probably a little more relevant to you because you're probably trading lower time frames. But right there, right? At this point, right, looking at it in this context, money flow crossovers into the green. Again, red dots are looking to print, so cool-offs are, probably going to be likely. But you technically haven't hit this local value area high, so you could potentially get a move up into that value area high. And then again, right, where's your key level of support? Just like that key level of support is your macro POC, it's also key support is your macro value area, or this local value area low, right? So this is kind of the same level, but just in a different context. Right here, between 1002 and 988, very key support. So even if I did come down here, I'd probably be looking for longs, especially if money flow is continuing into the green, right? So Luana, hopefully that helps you out. I know I wish I could just tell you whether to buy or sell or whatever, but I can't do that. My liquidation is $5. Okay, yeah. So I mean, you're on pretty low leverage then. Yeah, that makes me think that you're probably not using 100x leverage. Definitely not using 100x leverage. So yeah, again, right, like who knows? This thing could absolutely dump, right? Who knows? But for me, like these are your key levels, right? As long as you remain, in my opinion, as long as you remain above this zone of support, and even if you came back down here, I'd look for longs as long as money flow is continuing into the green here. So there you go, right? You'd have to break down out of this range, right, decisively to get a bigger move to the downside. But again, you're pretty safely within this range. So hopefully those levels help you out, Luanda. Good luck. Just use good risk management, not financial advice, but please use good risk management. All right, let's see. Shout out to Golden. It says, Frankie can show calf, but if he pulls his fib, he's going to YouTube jail. Shout out to Golden. Shout out to you. Haven't pulled my fib on live yet. We pull fibs all the time, but, I don't pull my personal fib, or I show my public company fib, which is right here, as you guys see all the time. But I will say we have accidentally had some other things happen on stream. Shout out to anybody who was in that horrifically scary live stream. It got very holy and dark. Shout out to you guys. I got completely scammed. Anyway, shout out to Creighton C. said, okay, shout out to Creighton. Oh, Creighton is here. Shout out to Creighton C. Let's go. POC Rayton. Shout out to Mark Dutch. He says promo and events is right under announcements in the free Discord. Free Discord has white print and no sauce cans next to the names. You can do it. No Rickroll. Oh, God. Shout out to Creighton C. Thank you for that super chat, and thank you for the help, brother. Let me see if I can pull this up. I got to pull my face cam up real quick because I don't want to share any. Woo, good thing I didn't, because there was some premium sauce in here. It would not be fair to the people who pay. Okay, so let me actually find this first. Okay, promos and events. Okay, shout out to Tony D. Okay, let me quickly pull this up. Bada boom. Okay, so Tony says, pull up the free Discord and read my latest post from promos and events page below announcements. Okay, shout out to Tony. This is from the 31st, so I don't know if this is what you want me to read, but here we go. I think it is, probably. So shout out to Tony D for posting this. Says, lots of talk lately about Blowfin. If you want to sign up for an exchange that many are saying does not have barriers, because I know a lot of people are having trouble with their exchanges. A lot of exchanges are changing their rules. I am dealing with the same thing. So, be aware of that, guys. But if you are having trouble, a lot of people have way less issues with Blowfin. But he said, shout out to Tony D. I actually was going to text you about this today. I didn't realize this. So I guess we do. I go to text Tony to do something, and it's already been done on like a week ago. Shout out to Tony D. Get yourself a Tony D. But we do have a deal with Blowfin, apparently. Also, Blowfin is now part of the dining room, which is what he wants me to mention here. To request access, please submit the manual dining room access form, which is right here. I'm not going to click the link because never click links, guys. I don't care if it's from Tony D. I'm just kidding. But yeah, if you guys want to get into the dining room, obviously some of this, a lot of people are having trouble. We had a problem with the bot that we used to get people in here, but you can still join the dining room. So if you guys are looking to get into an exchange, which is likely not going to give you any issues, at least right now, you're looking for a place to trade, check out Blowfin. You can come here. And link to Blowfin in the description down below. And if you want to use this to get access to our dining room where we drop premium TA posts once a week, where a lot of times they are trade setups, and I'm not going to lie, a lot of times they do wind up playing out. So if you want to get a little taste of the premium Discord without having to drop any money and you're looking for a place to trade, and I didn't even realize we had that deal with Blowfin. So if you guys are interested, check all that out. And you can also, if you're going to sign up with our link, you might as well get access to the dining room because that gets you access if you use our link. Jump in here. And shout out to Chemistry Bro, who's going to be helping us out a lot in the dining room here. So shout out to Chem Bro, dropping sauce. And shout out to Tony D, dropping that token metric sauce in here, which is another. You get access to all these channels, guys, if you use our affiliates. But yeah, so if you're already signed up with our link and you don't have access to this, you didn't know about this, please go get access to this. It's definitely worth it. Lots of free value here. So jump in. And shout out to Tony D. Thank you for letting me know that we have that deal with Blowfin. I know oftentimes we have deals, but I never know if it's certain or not. So check that out in the free Discord, guys. But with all that being said, that is Render. And let's see here. Bada boom. Let me get chat back here. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Bada boom. Let's see. ABT. Shout out to Sleet Coil. Let's go ahead and check out ABT, or as your grandma might call it, Abbott. Abbott. Here we go. Okay, let's go ahead and check it out. So on ABT, 15-minute money flow crossover could give us a move up. Oh, man. I wonder if we got that. We got to check it. I mean, guys, let me just move this. 15-minute money flow crossover into the green. We tried to predict this, right, as money flow was coming up. We don't know when it's going to cross over. But once that money flow crossed over into the green here, what happened? Bing bong, right to the upside. This is super old, but just goes to show that that does wind up working out more often than it doesn't. So we could get rid of all this as of right now, and let's take a look at ABT and see what we can pull away from this thing. So we actually looked at this recently. Next major level is going to be, if we're able to get a big breakout here, next major level to the upside, definitely going to be $5.45. I have my alert set here. Go ahead and get it up there. ABT target hit. But if you do get the breakout, that's definitely going to be the next major level of resistance, in my opinion, just based off Fibonacci extension levels. I believe that's where we got that level from. But locally here, yeah, I mean, look at, let me pull this up a little bit and clean this. So, man, I wish we looked at this. So last time we looked at ABT, we had this upper value area, right? And then we also had this lower value area, right? And we were saying if you wind up breaking out of this lower value area or this upper value area, you could simply just look below you to this value area for context on where you should be looking for price to bounce or where price will likely go next. And what do you look for here? You get a breakdown below the macro or the upper value area low. I know this is getting a little confusing here with these two ranges on top of each other, but just to kind of clear that up, you have lower range, upper range. You might be thinking to yourself, well, what happens if we break down out of here? Well, you have this lower range to give you a very beautiful blueprint on where price will go next. So if you lose that value area low, you're also getting accepted into this lower range, which would make you expect what? A breakdown, a bearish retest on the value area high, and then a move to where? The POC, which you got, and then a move to the value area low, which you got, which would be where you are looking for long positions on the deviation below the value area low, where everybody else is getting bearish. Oh my God, we're breaking support. Short. This is where we look for longs at the value area low. And where are you expecting price to go if you catch a long from the value area low? You expect it to go back above here, hold it as support, get a move up to your POC, which was very, very close. But once you flip that POC to support, you look for a move up to where? Your value area high. Where's price sitting right now? Basically at that value area high. And now we can use that exact logic flipped upside down to anticipate the next move, right? So once we flip this value area low to support, right, this upper value area, we can get rid of these levels now. Well, I wouldn't get rid of them, but they're, now look at it in this do I have, let me see if I have these in folders, because this would, bear with me, guys. This is going to be worth it. I just want to make it nice and easy to, this will make it a lot simpler for people to kind of understand if I just group everything together, right? So go here, bada boom, bada bing, bada boom, group 1, right? And then we can pop that on and off. I'll get rid of this fib, right? So we have that, and then we have this group, bada boom, make that another folder, right? So now you have your upper range, right? Upper range is up here. Lower range is down here. So once price broke below this range, where is price likely to go? You can now get rid of this range and pull up the lower range. Well, if we get stuck under this value area high, bearishly retest it, I'll look for a short to go to the POC value area low. Simple as that. Deviate from the low, look for your long to go from the value area low to the POC to the value area high. Now we're breaking out of the value area high. Now you could hide this and pull your upper range back up. Well. If we hold this value area low, we could look for the move up to the POC, which we've already wicked a couple times. And then once you flip that POC, this is your next key level. Money flow coming up on the 2-hour pretty nicely here. Right now, maybe you get a little turbulence. VWAP's coming down, looking for a red dot. But even your 4-hour money flow is starting to come up. If this money flow continues in this direction, guys, you're going to be looking for a very simple move. Value area low to support, flip the POC, look for the value area high. Very, very, very simply put. I won't even overcomplicate it because that's pretty simple TA. And I wish we saw that happen live, because that was what, we were looking at that lower range as like, hey, what happens if we break down? Look for that to happen. And it literally played out textbook, right? Can't always go back and look at those moves. It'd be impossible to watch everything we call and go back to every single coin that we look for. But eventually we come back to the chart and we see if it plays out. Sometimes it does. Most of the time it does. Sometimes it doesn't. But this is just, if this doesn't make you want to study volume profiles, I don't know what will. It's literally a blueprint to where price is going to go next. It's as simple as that. Shout out to the volume profiles. Shout out to Golden. Thank you for that super chat, bro. He said, yo, Tony D, come work for me. I could pay you with authentic. Oh, no, Golden, you can't tell him that. Don't coax Tony. Tony is a food snob. If you tell him you got good, authentic Italian, he's going to leave me in a minute. Shout out to Golden. Tony D ain't eating no Chef Boyardee. He's going for the authentic only, and if he can't get it, he makes it. But Golden says, I could pay you an authentic Italian food in Italy, freshly made by your new Italian wife. Best I can offer. Shout out to Golden. Tony D, please don't leave me. Please don't. Yo, Dave Digital said, hi, my name is Tony. My bags are packed. Shout out to Dave Digital. Don't do it, Tony. Italian women are very fast. Shout out to Mark Dutch. You guys are absolutely crazy. Shout out to Golden. Thank you for that super chat. But guys, with all that being said, I think that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. Bitcoin kind of sitting in the same spot that it was when we started the live stream here. But yeah, are we going to get that big move to the upside? Now you guys have the key levels of resistance and support. Don't forget that money flow crossover on the daily. As long as that stays in the green, we could potentially anticipate any pullbacks to be lackluster, to put in higher lows and continue back to the upside. But either way, you guys have those key levels of support and those key levels to the upside. Can we get the breakout? Let's see. Hopefully, I'm holding my longs. Please don't wreck me. But with all that being said, guys, shout out to Wix Wi-Fi 99. Shout out to Jay Gilly. Shout out to Retro Mike. Shout out to Nick. Not to be confused with Nikki94. Boo. Shout out to you. Shout out to Wick 589. Golden, thank you for the super chat. Crypto Billy, everybody, thank you for the super chats. You guys are the absolute best. And I will see you guys tomorrow right here. Same place, same time. 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's all I got. Frankie Candles out. Tony, please don't leave me. Bing bong.
Phone started jumping, what a day. Swear to God I need it, now I can't afford to wait. I just had a fan hit me up from Kuwait. Told him this would happen and we not a minute late. Seen them down bad, now they tryna hate. Same ones try to hit me for the raise. Got a mail, now they coming with a blaze. Check the numbers, fam, I swear I'm getting paid. I'm a Don just like the Perrier. It's one time when I'm looking at a face. On the low like I'm pushing up the bass. Come down and I'll meet him at a gate. got a check and I bought myself a place. They get some money and they blow it on bait. I don't flex, but I'm pushing all the weight. Told them all I swear I got it's what it takes. Phone started jumping, what a day. Swear to God I need it now, I can't afford to wait. I just had a fan hit me up from Kuwait. Told him this would happen and we not a minute late.
Please don't leave me, bro. Please don't leave me. Dude, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I barely know how to use Discord. I'm a complete boomer on Discord, dude. I know, I can't listen. I don't have authentic Italian food, Tony, but what I do have could buy you authentic Italian food. I'll give you cash, crypto, whatever you want. I'll double it. I'll double it, bro. Please, I love Golden. Golden deserves you, bro. Golden deserves you. But I will double it. I will double it. I don't even know how much it is, but I don't know. I'll send you a picture. It's a giant wad of money. All hundreds. I don't know. But please don't leave me, bro. I'll cook you food. I'll learn how to cook Italian. Oh, no. Oh, no. Mrs. Candles! You gotta cook pasta. Mrs. Candles! Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, hi, Mafia. Hey, guys. I need you to blow up Tony's DMs and tell him that we'll give him whatever he wants. I don't care. Tony D, you can have whatever you want, bro. Please don't leave me. Please don't leave me, bro. Please. Golden, please don't take him. Shout out to Golden. Anyway, see you guys tomorrow. Hasta pasta. Frank Candles out. Bing bong.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command, like, yeah, you about to see me on demand, like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know.